grab your drink and sit down. Listen to the podcast of the strange, the old, the pagan, and the Christian overcoming evil. This is the Grizzly Files podcast.
Yeah, you pink hairs. Oh, we're recording. Hey, everyone. My wife was just hating on pink haired people. Oh my god, the cat was eating your instrument thing.
My saxophone cleaner?
Ugh, clean your saxophone. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. We're hoping we fixed some of the sound issues that happened in the last episode. Sorry about that, by the way.
Let me know if you can hear this. Okay.
You definitely can. You may ignore her. Welcome back. We got a fun episode today. Something a little more, shall we say, focused than last time, hopefully. Yes. Wife. What is it?
Is it about Arfman?
Arfman?
Barkman.
Barkman? I don't know. Some people thinks it's werewolf. Other people think it's other things. We're gonna get into it. And that's... You would think I was drunk. I drank like half a glass of this already. What are we drinking, wife, before I continue?
Stella Rosa, the black bottle.
So we're racist today. Excellent.
Last time we had the white bottle. But no, wait.
It was
yes. The white label. Stellar. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
We will have to try the white, clear bottles. White wine. Versus red, white, and blue. Just kidding.
Yes, very descriptive. So, that aside, I have to say, out of all the wine my wife has made me try, I have liked this one the best. Highly recommended for anyone who's hadn't had wine before. Maybe
it's a low alcohol content wine. Mm-hmm. It's about 5 ABV.
Use it in communion to keep the dogmen away.
We would use the white label.
Oh, white, excuse me.
Silly cat.
My cat just tried to eat my balls again. What are you doing, Gato? You coming with me? You want to say hi to everyone?
You're just going to say that every episode now.
Yeah, I got to sneak it in. Gato, say hi. I want to meow. They're going to say you don't exist if you don't meow. Well, the cat doesn't exist.
I don't speak for the cat.
All right.
On that note,
intro out of the way. Welcome back. Today we're going to bring up a very specific case. And who knows what exactly we're going to deal with, but I can tell you right now, the official story, like most things, is false. Or shall we say even more, they didn't even bother to do a story. They just covered everything up. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Well, we'll get into some other things too. But, so the story today is about basically a dirtbag named Christopher Whiteley. I know that seems a little harsh. The man's dead, but he wasn't a very good guy. However, he was trying to make a turnaround, and because of his past decisions, he found himself in a rural house with a long driveway and no car. So, out of prison, didn't learn how to drive before he got into prison, that kind of thing. And so, he was turning his life around, supposedly. Who knows? He might still have been a dirtbag, but the point is, he was a recovering dirtbag. And recovering dirtbag.
What other bags are there?
Yes.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, God. Wife went there. I need some wine after that one. So, to set the stage. He lives with his girlfriend in this rural house with a long driveway. He gets a ride with his neighbor every morning to work. I believe it was morning. And one day, he doesn't show up for work. Really? A text message now at like 11 at night? Who are you people? Anyway. Oh, no! Ah! Don't worry, I'll just cut that part out. So We're back after my wife stole my phone and
It was
stared
Discord, okay?
at Discord. People run
Just the
on all
cord.
times of the night. But so they can't find him. The cops are eventually called, and for a long time they can't find him. And then they find how many times can I say "find" in a paragraph? Well, that's obnoxious. But eventually, state trooper, I believe it was, gets lucky, or maybe a deputy, and finds his body underneath a thicket with his throat ripped out.
Cat? Really?
That was definitely the cat. See, he exists. He just doesn't want to yowl for you people. He's very particular.
That was her suit jacket that you got married in.
Why are you attacking my nice suit that I can't fit anymore? Back.
You'll fit it someday.
Wife is pressuring and fat shaming all at the same time. That's very impressive. You know, I'm gonna assume the deputy who found this guy was not in need of fat shaming, as he was able to get into the thicket and everything else. He was found with his throat completely ripped out in an apparent animal attack. He had crawled under the thicket to escape, and he bled to death. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. This was in Hood County, Texas, and judging by the size of the bite marks, everyone's thinking mountain lion and all the rest. So they call in a bunch of mountain lion experts, right? And the mountain lion experts, particularly a man named Mike Belichick. That guy with mountain lions. We're coming to the conclusion that it wasn't a mountain lion. First of all, the attack was all wrong. Mountain lions, apparently,
Stalks.
Yeah, they attack you from behind and they suffocate you by crushing you from the back of the neck, and they slowly suffocate you to death. Mountain lion attacks tend to be very messy in the sense that everything around the body is destroyed, because you can imagine you're being strangled, everyone's rolling around, there's a lot of violence. It wasn't anything like that.
I mean, have you seen our cat play with his toy?
Oh, it's vicious.
Yeah.
But mountain lions in particular do that ambush, and it's also from the back of the neck.
Ambush, leap, grab.
Yeah. This one was like a bite that came from the front.
Like I was going to pounce on him.
Yeah. Now, mountain lions are known to attack people from the front if you crowd their den if they have young and whatnot.
Cubs,
Right. But when they do that, they actually don't go for the neck. They tend to use their claws. Now, there were scratch marks, but they weren't deep incision like a mountain lion defending its young.
And there weren't like the...
No, they were. It seemed wrong. They weren't thick enough. It wasn't thick enough. It was almost like something with really long fingernails, like the weird black lady in with the acrylic nails, grabbed onto you, and the acrylic nails, by some miracle, did not break. This was, what was the character of, I think there was a mutant in the X-Men who had the long metal fingernails.
Oh, that guy.
I don't know if that was just a movie character. No.
No, a different one?
That's the teleporter with the tail who looks like a demon.
I thought a teleporter.
Look, there was a chick in one of the movies who had like weird antimatium. The nerds are mad at me now. That metal that's in Wolverine coming out of her nails, like that. Just imagine a really angry black lady grabbing onto him and ripping him out with his teeth. But so that was all weird. And multiple of these experts, very gay, faking gay. Multiple of these mountain lion experts came back and said this wasn't a mountain lion attack. There was also a lot of other minor things. For example, mountain lions, when they make a kill, they tend to like stash the body and pee all over it, which sounds really weird.
Well, they're dominating.
Yeah, they're marking it so other predators don't try to steal their kill. They're stashing it for later. Gators do something similar except for the pee part, but they're underwater. They just stash the thingy. But the meat, the dead thing, hopefully dead thing.
Oh no, some of them are cannibals.
Yeah, most of them. So, also, as pointed out, usually the mountain lion suffocates its prey, and you would get like 4 very solid puncture wounds on the back of the neck where the mountain lion grabs the neck and
Where
like
the longest
breaks the
teeth are.
spine and is slowly crushing your larynx and stuff. So they didn't see that. Instead, they had like massive bite marks like that of a dog, really big dog. And that's where they went to next. They went, okay, not a mountain lion, it must have been a dog. And that was the main culprit at first. They even found some dog hair on the body, right?
Mhm.
It's going more and more towards dog attack. And then the dog experts are brought in. And the dog experts go, have you measured this bite, mother trucker? There is no dog alive that could have made this bite.
Maybe there's this dinosaur.
Dinosaur
that
dog.
has, like, yeah. No.
Like,
Okay.
no. So that was the main thing. Another secondary
Dino dog.
Dino dog. So no dog, even the biggest breeds, could make the bite we're talking about.
Right now, I'm in a cane horse or
Yeah, not even like a cane or so. And even then, none of those dogs were known to be in the area. It's like no one owned a dog like that nearby
And
that
they
could
had
have
to
made
have
it.
long fur, not the short fur.
Exactly.
Either, so.
And no, there was no dog. They didn't own a dog. They did have friends who owned a dog, but they lived like 100 miles away.
Or the little yappers.
Probably. Who knows?
You know how some people
Trust
are.
me, looking at the pictures of these people, they weren't big dog kind of people. That sounds weird, but there's a type.
Just
There's
like the size of number.
Yeah. Little dog syndrome, as I call certain people of the short persuasion.
Like your famous.
Oh man. So wow, we were really getting to the point fast this time. But we have a lot to cover, so that's why I'm kind of bam, 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 bam. So the other issue that the dog experts had were the lack of takedown injuries, which that mean because when
like
it
bruising or anything
well
like
specifically because dogs, even a really big dog, is shorter than a human. So rather than jumping for the throat right off the bat, you'll see it.
Other places.
Well, they go for the limbs, they drag you
Yeah.
down. Like you guys have seen police dogs. What do?
Yeah,
They grab the arm and they
arm.
pull you down. Now, when you're down on the ground, then they'll go for your throat. It's almost like this dog was taller than Christopher Whiteley, who I think was almost 6 foot. I'd have to double check it, but he wasn't short.
Dang.
So the dog, whatever dog it was, seemed to act like it was tall enough to just go for the throat instead of do a takedown maneuver. Which is right. We go back to the experts saying there's no domesticated dog, and by the way, this means no coyotes, because coyotes are smaller than cane ursos and domesticated dogs. They don't get that big. And you could say wolves, domesticated dogs have bigger mouths than most wild wolves. And we could argue for like a timber wolf or like what other. I mean, once you get into a wolf with that kind of bite, you're already in encrypted location. Like you're talking a wolf that's supposed to have been dead since the Ice Age. Okay, so you're right back.
Mammoth.
We're right back into a crazy thing. Because then you're gonna have to explain how a freaking I think they're called dire wolves. Yes, there's an actual dire wolf that existed in the Ice Age. That's where fantasy gets the name dire wolf. Blah blah blah. You're gonna have to explain how a freaking Ice Age dire wolf made its way to West Texas to eat Mr. Christopher and then just disappear and not eat anybody else.
It became a dryer wolf.
Why did it? And the killing was also strange because the only injuries were the injuries to his throat and the claws.
Oh.
Nothing tried to eat him. This automatically takes out bear attack because bears rip out your intestines and guts, and they do it while you're alive. I brought that up in another podcast. We've only had 3 podcasts so far, so I guess 2 podcasts ago. So also this was Texas.
Everything's big in Texas.
Yeah, everything's big. There's a lot less bears and stuff in Texas. So, and again, the bite marks were indicative of a canine, which is why the canine experts were even brought in. It didn't have the bite marks of a bear. And again, we have those claw issues. A bear attack would have deep lacerations like the mountain lion attack. Mm-hmm. Why we have like really nasty gashes, but they're not like, they're like... Why do I make a motion?
Because you don't have the hooks.
Well, why do I make
end of the...
Why do I make a motion that nobody can see?
But me.
Yeah. Right? So, right, rather than slashing, whatever made the claw marks was grabbing onto the shoulders like what a human would do, like in a ice skating ring, like you know how in the recent accidental killing on the hockey.
I'm just gonna do a ballerina leap on the side and
That black guy just thought they were supposed to do figure skating. He didn't understand that.
oh no, my leg was too high. I had
Oh.
too much momentum. Whoops, try again.
Murder on the ice aside, if you watch hockey matches, right, and a fight breaks out, well, a lot of times they'll grab each other on the shoulder.
Yeah, they don't kick.
No, they don't kick.
They don't kick.
Soccer players kick.
Oh, soccer players. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started.
That cracked me up the first time I saw a soccer fight, and they just started doing ninja kicks. It was crazy. But I guess if all your muscles in your legs, you got to do something like that.
I remember I saw one at my high school once and I got yelled out from the other team. This is a contact sport. In your world, it is. Clearly, that's what the hockey players say.
I want to play golf and like beat the crap out of like
the boomer next door.
Then say it's a contact sport. Dang it! You got in the way of my golf ball. But
pickleball sport.
Right, if I can set the stage, it's like something grabbed onto him so he couldn't move, so it could make the bite on his neck.
Oh, he just wanted a little dance.
Again, that's not what a bear does, right? A bear's gonna bowl you over with its bulk. A bear is like a lineman in football. I don't know what all these sports analogies are all about.
Bear hugs are fake.
Well, they are. They're just kind of more like you've been knocked to the ground.
No.
Right? Like, a bear, when it charges you, doesn't stand up on its hind legs. When a bear stands up on its hind legs, it's trying to intimidate you. Right? A bear basically, like, runs you over kind of thing. Uses its immense size like a rhinoceros and then eats the crap out of you and rips you apart with its claws. Right? It doesn't grab you by the shoulders while standing up. First of all, it would fall over on top of you if it did that because it's got to lean forward with its little arms. But point is, they didn't even consider a bear attack for a lot of the reasons I just brought up. The canine attack was looking less and less likely as they pointed out. No dog matches the description. Coyotes are automatically crossed out because, again, the bite marks are too large for even the largest known coyote. The wolves aren't in the area at this time, and even if they are, they don't have the same bite radius either. And on and on and on. So they go, okay, it's not a dog, despite the fact that they find dog hairs. Now, the funny thing is, they also had fingernail clippings from the body, and it had dog DNA on it as well. Here's where things get a little strange, right? The dog experts point out this can't be a dog, even though all the DNA evidence is pointing towards dog.
It's not an acrylic nail.
Right. Well, disturbingly, the fingernails are destroyed for some reason. Middle of an active investigation. A little odd. And remember, you could say, oh, well, hey, then maybe the fingernails get destroyed in the DNA process. They used to. They have better processes now. And even then, they have 10 fingernails. You're telling me they destroyed all 10 in the DNA process? No, they didn't. So, that's a little odd. Next, also, they made no effort to figure out what type of dog it was from the hair samples, which you most certainly could, especially with the follicles. Like, basically, that's the fancy way of saying the part that's connected to the skin.
The little cubicle.
That's the part that has the DNA, and they can
the little bulb.
Yeah. And so, despite all this, they went back to starting to blame a mountain lion. So they brought the mountain lion guys back in. Well, these mountain lion experts were not having it. It got to the point that Mr. Buttigieg brought in skulls of like the largest mountain lions that they found and put it up to the body and pointed out that they were impossible for any mountain lion to make the bite. Not big enough.
Not big enough.
And again, right, when a mountain lion like bites you, it's not like tearing off pieces of flesh like a dog. It's latching onto you, and it will just look like 4 puncture wounds as it slowly breaks your bones underneath the bite. That's what it's doing. And again, it's probably going to eat your guts. Even if it's not that hungry, it's probably going to do it.
Or it's cubs.
Yeah, something's going to eat you. But...
Little maggots.
yeah. Awkward. Whew. So... Ah! I'm under attack. Here's where we get to the next point of weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
The local forensics lab.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because you have the bite mark. They were like, okay, we can now get DNA from the bite mark. Only no one told the coroner, apparently, that they were going to continue the investigation. So the coroner washed the body with bleach.
They forgot to tell the coroner.
No.
They didn't tell the coroner.
No. Now, get this, right? This was supposedly a COVID thing. Like, oh, it's COVID, so I doused the body with bleach. No other coroners did that during COVID. Everybody else was washing the bodies with soap and water, which would not have destroyed the DNA, like deep DNA in the wound.
You're telling me this is a recent thing?
Fairly recent. Happened in COVID time.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Let me,
Don't worry, it was Texas. It's ways away.
Let me,
Wife needs a little more wine. She needs an excuse. Look out, boys.
During COVID.
Yep.
Okay. They probably blame COVID.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new theme inside this podcast. When my wife is when Mama Grizzly is officially...
Oh, I forgot to offer you some before I pour myself. Would you like some more?
I'll take some.
Okay.
It's a little intense, isn't it? Oh, and by the way, did I say this isn't the only case I know about with weird cover-ups about animal attacks that make no sense? Wife dumps more wine in her cup. Nah.
There we go. Okay.
So.
That lasted 2 days.
Yeah. So then.
I'll buy more wine tomorrow if we can.
We're still not done, though. Because though his shirt had been taken off, no one knows what happened to the shirt. He had pants on.
By the coroner or by...
No, the shirt, when they found the body, it was shirtless. A little weird. But dogs do tend to pull clothes off and things.
Did they find the shirt?
No, they never found the shirt. They found his backpack, which we'll get to a little later.
What a raping dog man.
Well, his pants are still on, though it looks like whatever killed him tried to drag him by his pants for a little bit, and then he escaped under a thicket. So, if you guys remember, right, they found him under a thicket.
He must have taken his shirt off and... No? Did it think...
No, he wasn't trying to stop the bleeding. So, basically...
No, why would you try that? You wouldn't think that when you're bleeding out of your neck after a big thing like that.
Sure, you could. So, if I could set the stage again, right? He gets bit by whatever it is, and it seems like he crawled under this thicket to get away from it. And then in that process, he bled to death.
Okay.
So,
with no shirt on.
Yeah, like it bites him, he gets out, and as he's going down, it like rips his shorts.
He didn't
Pants.
leave the house shirtless?
No, he had a shirt on when he left the house because he was going to work.
Okay.
And again, it's
and
not
from
totally.
The driveway?
Yeah,
but his neighbor takes him to work every day, right? It's a long driveway. How long is his driveway?
Well, long enough that there is like little wooded areas between him and the rural road he was going to. Here's a crazy thing that we didn't get into yet. Wife is making me jump around everywhere. Is if you can imagine, he was supposed to walk towards the road, right? But for some reason, he went in the opposite direction. But he didn't go back in the house, and then he was found in the thicket behind his house, near his backpack, which was just placed by a tree. It wasn't thrown down. He put it down. Yeah, we'll get into that weirdness later. Other theories people have about it. Yeah, it's a little weird. So something clearly chased him away from where he wanted to go. He seemed to have stopped and put his backpack down and taken his shirt off for some reason. Not sure why. There didn't seem to be any marks of the thing taking the shirt off him, if that makes any sense.
Okay, that's why I was... Okay.
So he took his own shirt off, it seems. Unless something really weird happened. And there were rips on his pants, like maybe when he was crawling under the thicket, the thing with whatever clawed hands was trying to grab at him, and he was able to get under the thicket away from it. And then he bled to death under the thicket. Again, pointing out that this means all the more that it wasn't a mountain lion or a dog, because a mountain lion or a dog would have been able to crawl into the thicket easier than he could.
Interesting.
It was something bigger than him that would have had trouble crawling underneath this thicket of barbels. And this is Texas, like this really thick stuff.
Cat stalking you.
Yeah.
So you're waving your arms around.
Ooh, he's swatting me. Yes, we concluded that you are not the culprit. You did not kill Christopher, the ex-drug addict. Well done, gato. Murder someone who
What's the
deserves
reverse of a shrink way?
Shrink way?
Ray.
Shrink rate? I guess a growth rate. He has a growth ray in his pocket. I should have known. My cat did it all along. Furball.
The one from Nicaragua probably did. You need to go to the bathroom? Where you at?
Okay, everyone, we're gonna get a little more noise as I let this gato go to the bathroom.
Is our bedroom door closed?
Is it? Okay. Oh, sorry. Wow, I forgot exactly where
We were talking about the thicket. And the thing was really big.
Right. If it was something bigger, otherwise it would have been more. It could have followed him under the thicket easier. Right. Something with a big enough body that it couldn't crawl underneath all those barbels. And thorns. It didn't have COVID. It was just asking for help, and for some reason it tried to kiss his neck and it bit him instead.
World's biggest hickey.
Kinky. No. So, right.
That bruise became more.
If we go all the way back, right, back to the bleached body, there was one more piece of evidence that could have been used to figure out what had actually killed Christopher. And it was his pants, which also had been ripped or something, and probably had some DNA saliva samples on it for whatever reason. So, Budacek, being very untrusting of the local coroner's office at this point, petitioned that another lab should investigate this evidence of those pants. The issue is, I don't know what he was thinking, because can you guess what lab he sent them to?
A COVID lab.
No. The Department of Agriculture, the federal government. Yeah, because
they never do anything.
They never lie about anything. They don't destroy evidence or plant evidence or do anything. But so he sends it there. Funny enough, apparently, and this is the Department of Agriculture story. When they got the pants, they found mold on it, and the saliva DNA samples destroyed. And basically, no one had frozen the pants like they're supposed to preserve the saliva samples. And so, the DNA on the pants was destroyed as well. Conveniently, every single piece of DNA evidence was destroyed through some form of malfeasance inside a coroner's office. Now, we could maybe argue that the agriculture was lying and they destroyed it themselves, or they were telling the truth and they got destroyed DNA samples. Doesn't really matter. It shows a really strange amount of, at the very least, extreme malfeasance. But in the modern age, let's not mince words. We should naturally assume malice. Like, you know that stupid bullcrap that the Gen Xers used to like, which is like, never attribute to malice what could be attributed to stupidity. No, in this day and age, you should assume that not only are they malice, but they're idiots as well. Or they just don't care. It's far more likely that they destroyed it on purpose. You don't have multiple destruction of DNA samples in the same case, in the same time period, and it not be on purpose. Yeah. I'm sorry. This is just straight stupid. Of course it was on purpose. You destroy all 10 fingernails, you destroy the pant sample, and you bleach the body, which is not done by any other coroner office, including this one, on other cases.
They don't even do that for doing.
Oh my god! Look, it bothers me because I know, right? If this video gets any traction at all, I'm gonna have like gamma types out of the woodwork. Like, well, actually, it was totally an accident. You're just no. It wasn't an accident. You're not smart enough for this conversation. Go away. You actually have to face reality with this one. They were trying to hide something. Why? Why? You tell me why they thought it was important enough to destroy the DNA samples from a seemingly animal that was taller than a 5 to 6 foot human being, had a larger canine shaped mouth than any canine known to live, and had strange clawed hands that didn't dig as deep as a mountain lion or a bear, but were used to grab something like a monkey. Or a human. And it definitely wasn't a human, neither. Also, it had canine hairs. You tell me, Mother Trucker, what are they trying to hide? Again, whatever this is, I don't know what it is. I know from previous cases like this one that I lean towards a few couple of options. Now, I got a little passionate there because I get annoyed at people. Oh, hang on.
Catch this one said he was standing on the toilet.
You were standing on the toilet. You were a toilet cat.
Thankfully, the lid was closed.
It would have been a very wet toilet cat if that had gone differently.
Well,
Yeah.
I knew somebody who trained their cat to go in the toilet.
Awkward. But I suppose cleaner in the long run. Did they teach it to flush?
Mm-hmm.
Did it ever fall in while it was flushing?
Maybe while they were training it, but, you know.
Did they throw the coroner in there just to be safe?
No.
Dang it.
Didn't they do something like that with like the old Bigfoot story way back when?
Threw a coroner in a toilet?
No. Destroy the DNA because of the nail on the board, and they stepped
my
on
wife
it,
remembers
and
what I
there was
say.
some kind of thing like fur and some blood and whatnot. And what did they do?
They destroyed it.
No, did you see here?
That is a whole nother podcast, though.
Mm.
You're trying to give them double dippings, but we'll briefly talk about it if you want.
Yeah, if you want.
That is a big
I feel generous tonight.
I don't. Yes.
Cranky old man.
There are actually. I don't have all the details for the other ones that I know about. I'll have to do.
That was a long time ago, and that was like what?
No, I know the details about that. This one you can actually find, of all things, on the old History Channel Monster Quest, which was one of the fakest shows I've ever watched. Let me tell you, their experts were dumb. The way they did their research was idiotic, and
the way they did this,
it was dumb.
Thematic, theoretic manner.
Ooh. But as a child, I was entertained, and my eyes were open to wondrous possibilities, and then I went.
And look where it's gotten you.
Yeah. In a closet studio. Drinking wine.
wine.
But with a beautiful woman, so take that.
Woman.
By the way, I got her pregnant like 4 times. Don't know what one. Maybe.
Within 5 years.
Yeah. She's that hot. So, with that one, it was interesting because there was we'll get into that one in another podcast.
It was like a small hut, like shack-like thing, right?
It was a cabin.
Cabin. There
it was a hunting/fishing cabin in Alaska. I believe something like hundreds of miles from the nearest town.
Yahoo!
No. There was no road to this lake. The only way to get there is by prop plane or by hiking like hundreds of miles for the bush.
I'd take a prop plane.
Yes. Like, one of those planes that can
land
in the water.
Yeah.
Those pontoon planes or whatever they are, right? And they were getting all kinds of crazy noises in the woods. Things were breaking into the...
and like got the refrigerator or something.
Yeah. No. They actually kind of left the refrigerator alone and destroyed everything. This is how the experts knew it wasn't a bear.
It wasn't a bear because bears usually go for the refrigerator.
Because the Freon makes them think it's like a honeycomb and stuff. So they actually go for the the insulation and stuff.
And that's
in
just the Freon
yeah.
that thing in the...
And we're
Stove
talking
thing.
things that a bear wouldn't be able to do. Like a stove was picked up and thrown. Like, you gotta understand, bears are really strong, but they don't have thumbs. Right? They're not gonna pick something up like a
chuck it.
stove connected to the wall and chuck it. They may run into it, they may push it off of its housings,
Right.
but chuck it? No. And so all this crazy stuff happens. They actually come and they got a DNA sample from the owner of one of the owners. He may have been the only owner. I forget if it was like a joint ownership. Put out a board with nails, and they got a massive footprint and a ton of blood because whatever this thing was stepped right on it.
Like an idiot.
And, well, because everyone expects to find an upside down board covered with nails in the woods.
No, I just expect Legos underneath the rug or something.
Vicious. Almost as deadly, too. But, so these samples were sent to a few labs. They came back as essentially wild man DNA. Hybrid human, something weird.
They sent it to the lab of agriculture.
Right. Well, here's the part, right? In the second follow-up episode to this one, the DNA sample is sent to, I think, 2 more labs, and one of the labs gets the DNA samples.
It messed it up.
And tries to say that it's been tested too many times and the sample's been destroyed.
Can't test it anymore.
And they basically destroy the sample. Yep.
There was a lot there.
Yep. They destroyed the sample. Because, right, what they tried to say was, oh, it was destroyed when we got it. No. Basically, they tried to say it was rust, which is what happens when you mishandle a blood sample of this age. It all kind of turns into rust. It's funny how, like, 2 labs before this lab, or at least one other lab, handled it fine with no issues, got DNA out of it, and then they send it to another lab, and that lab just goes, it's contaminated, destroyed, done. Now, what's interesting is there's actually a mountain of DNA evidence for Bigfoot. There's in a number of different groups that have done it, and it always comes back hybrid human DNA of some kind of wild human DNA. And they always try to say, someone just got their DNA in it. Keep in mind, these are crime labs. These are labs that have put people on death row. I'm not saying they're perfect, but there were a lot of different crime labs around a lot of different places who are a lot more professional than the places claiming that, they screwed up.
Oh, I just stared at the light too long. Like, shoot.
Then again, professional throwing bleach on bodies and all the rest. How professional are coroner's office? I don't know.
How diversitized was this lab?
Well, it was a rather overweight woman as the coroner.
Oh no, I accidentally bumped the table.
I know, the bleach everywhere.
And somehow the lid was open. Not tight enough.
Because that's what I do. I just leave bleach in front of, like, really important documents and things I need to keep safe. Like, over children or whatnot. Uncorked and, bleach!
See what happens if you do that with a wine bottle.
So, weird, right? Clearly some kind of cover-up's going on. And I'll say that. Like, a lot of people will cover it. We're kind of like, I don't know what's going on. No, we know what's going on. They covered it up. There's not going to be that much malfeasance. They're not that stupid. Okay, I'm not saying they're that smart, but they're not that stupid that they're going to destroy something like, if we say, all 10 fingernails, right? The body itself and the massive gashes on it and the pants. That's like, if we count each fingernail as a separate piece of evidence,
that's a lot of evidence.
That's a lot of evidence to just destroy all at the same time.
And that couch, too.
Yeah, they go, let me bleach this body. I'm sure we won't need it
How many
anymore.
bottles did she use?
I don't know, man, but they might as well have burned it. Would have been cleaner, too, if they'd burned it. So, there are some other details that might point to it not being certain cryptids either that we'll bring up. So, for example, the fact that he took off his own shirt, it was a little weird. But also, some people theorize that he knew whatever it was, because instead of trying to use his backpack as like a shield or something to protect him, he places it down and he like walks towards the thing like this. Like the blood and everything kind of matched up that he like put his hands up and was like walking towards it. Almost like he was trying to calm down whatever it was. Now I don't know about you.
Was it his ex-wife?
Like I won't bring up all the
Like,
werewolf
hey, Jill,
theories.
you gotta be careful here, okay?
Hey, you know what?
I didn't mean to accidentally, whatever it was.
See, funny
Can
enough,
you just calm down for a moment?
why are you now a giant dog? Stop it.
I know you're a bitch and all, but really, calm it down.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, and it's true, he had just had a big fight with his girlfriend. His girlfriend also did something weird. When his mother was getting worried and couldn't contact him, she texted the girlfriend that he lived with and asked her, "Hey, what's going on? Can't contact him." And she responded with, "We're napping. He's fine." Which is weird because he was already dead at that point. Now,
Wow.
I don't know exactly how much to look into that. I know I have temptations when certain in-laws try to contact us to say, "Yeah, I'm not home." But maybe that's it. Maybe she didn't want to explain to the mother, "Yo, I don't know where he is. This is weird." Maybe. It's still a little weird, to say the least. Don't know what to make of that. And you know, like, what are you suggesting? That his girlfriend was a werewolf? Honestly,
Maybe she was possessed and turned into one.
yeah, you know, there are interesting possibilities. The thing about skinwalkers, right, is they're said not to actually turn into the animal so much as take on its
Summoning them?
abilities,
Oh, abilities. Oh,
and
God.
while they wear a skin, while they wear like a dog head thing. But it depends. Some kind of lean towards them fully turning into it. Other ones say that they just take on the abilities. It depends on the tribe, depends on what's going on. Sure,
Okay.
shapeshifters though are in all kinds of lore from all over the world. Shouldn't be. Hi. Yes, thank you, cat. You want to come in my? Ah! Why are you eating me? Are you? What? You're trying to say something? You're like, are you a cat? Are you a cat shifter? You shift a catty? Anyway, so weird, but who knows? You know, I also thought maybe the thing was making itself seem smaller. If that makes sense. And he
And
was,
it got closer. It got
and
bigger.
he was trying to calm it down like it was a dog. Like he
That's
just
weird,
thought it was a
right.
stray dog, and he was trying to calm it down because he chased him into the woods, and he was like, "I'm not going to outrun it. Calm down, doggy. Calm down. Oh my God, you're a giant wolfman thing." Maybe that still seems a little weird. The whole case is weird. We have an obvious cover up going on. Because again, right? And the funny thing about this is, if I may put on my tinfoil hat, it strikes me that the coroner office wasn't used to covering things up. Okay? Because this is very, very blotched. Very bad. Wouldn't it have been easier just to say the DNA samples were inconclusive? Rather
Why
than.
freaked out? She had to get the bleach. You know.
Right, you know, it just strikes me as people not used to doing it. So what does that mean? That strikes me that somebody from a higher government position told them to cover it up, and because they're amateurs at covering it up, it was really messy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be what happened. And of course, they do it that way, if I may put my tinfoil hat on all the more, because just like with the Department of Agriculture, what did they say? Oh, it was all that Texas coroner's office's fault. Right? They instantly threw them under the bus. Which is why they do, when they do cover-ups on the local level, they force amateurs to do it. Because if people dig too much, well, guess what? Their hands are technically clean. They made somebody else cover it up for them. And only the tinfoil hat guys like me go, who told them to do that? Right? And even then, it's not like this lady lost her job. Like, if you think about it, this should have lost this woman her job. 100%. Having so much DNA lost from a very important case that had a lot of attention and has sparked a bajillion conspiracy theories now, you 100% as a coroner should have lost your job for that.
And your credentials.
Yeah.
You know.
Probably. I mean, maybe I'd be okay with her working at a morgue or something.
Yeah, well.
But not working with forensics anymore. If she's so klutzy, so stupid.
I wouldn't want her working at a morgue. Those are.
Yeah, but then, you know, they're just.
At that point, you don't care.
Look, if you're klutzy at a morgue, the worst thing that happens is, oh no, there's mascara on the dead body's dystophagus now. Let me clean that off. Right? You bleach a body in the morgue, it's no big deal. Right? You know, but
you know, in Thailand, they're horrible at putting makeup on bodies. I know
that
this.
was out of left field.
Well, I'm just saying, you brought up mascara. After a certain relative of mine passed away, well, my other relatives had to do the makeup because they messed up so bad. Anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Open caskets for you, I guess.
We did have an open casket. So my aunt,
look, they're too used to just cremating out there, okay? Like, what are you gonna do? Put mascara on some ashes?
Well, we had
Put
a
it
shrine before the cremation.
I know the story, love. You've told me. What? How long have we been going for anyway? But I got more to get into here.
I guess we got like 20 minutes left.
20 minutes left. Alright, well, we can get into more stuff. So, some possibilities if we put on our tinfoil hat. Obviously, a lot of people instantly jump to werewolf because they're like, he knew the person trying to calm it down, stop it from killing him, blah, blah, blah. And there's, you know, again, his actions could be indicative of someone trying to calm down what he thought was a very large dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once it stands up and he's too close, there's nothing left for him to do. And then he crawls under the thicket to get away from it. Which...
Did he yell or anything before?
And again, the girlfriend didn't say anything about it. And if he's trying to calm it down, he's not going to yell. But he did go in the wrong direction. So why didn't he yell then? Why didn't he try to go back in the house?
Did his wife call him over?
It's a girlfriend.
Girlfriend, whatever.
And he had been known for beating her in the past. Now, I do need to bring something else up as well. Because, you know, maybe someone sicked the dog. If someone held up the dog, well, then he wouldn't have been coming closer to them if they had a big old dog. And again, right, bite marks too big. But there has been certain stories and interesting things that I've heard about. I can't confirm any of them. Who can at these things? Of witches controlling cryptids and the demons and stuff inside them.
Oh boy, okay. I ran out of wine.
Sorry. Heard stories about that with Bigfoot. Heard stories about that. Supposedly, also the government did similar things. Like, this is really tinfoil.
I really ran out of wine.
Tinfoil, but yes, basically what I've kind of leaned to, if I were to bring in all the information, I'm probably wrong on a lot of things, but we can lean into 3 heavy possibilities for a lot of these cryptids. Now, of course, they'll be, well, they don't, if they exist. Okay, shut up. First of all, ancient Nephilim descendants, or, you know, who knows if they actually age properly, right? So, monsters from pre-flood situations. Say, oh, how do they survive? Well, Inner Earth, made right afterwards. Maybe like King Og claimed they were on top of the ark. Doesn't matter. The point is, something of that line. Another option is a very, almost 100% spiritual being that takes on a physical form. So, again, pre-flood in that sense, or even afterwards. But if you remember from our giant episode, right? Demons are actually the sons of bad spiritual daddies. And the thinking goes that a lot of these cryptids are these watcher type entities mixing with other things than just humans, or messing with the type of human they're mixing with. Like, say, if it mixed with a Neanderthal, for example. And then the manipulating the DNA, which unfortunately has been proven to be quite possible. If we can manipulate the DNA to the point that a human ear can grow on the back of a mouse, imagine what a spiritual entity that knows like the inner workings of how the universe works, what it could do manipulating DNA. Maybe it could make a man-like wolf thing. So, well, why would it do that? Probably because you have a big old wolf thing with claws and teeth that's kind of as smart, almost as smart as a human? You don't think that would be useful in a fight?
Oh boy.
Anyway, so there's a lot of descriptions of demons often have animal characteristics as well. Like there was
There's a lot of symbolism too.
Yeah.
Isn't there? Yeah.
Right. And of course, there is a certain amount of speculation. It can't be totally proven, but there's a lot of biblical stuff that back this up, that Satan himself was once a throne guardian, a seraphim. Right? Yeah. You know, those guys with the heads of an ox, a man, and this other stuff?
Oh boy.
So, one could ask, if something like that were to mix with a human, would it take on animal characteristics like that physical form?
Probably.
Let's just hope it doesn't take on any of the spinny wheel-eyed things.
No.
This is also part of it. Cosmic horror, everyone. Welcome. But we're getting into the weeds. So, I bring all that up to say, maybe I need to do more research on the girlfriend before I make any accusations. And remember, this guy was an ex-dirtbag. There could have been a lot of people who didn't like him. And witches have been known to use natural means or something like a dogman to kill people. I've heard a lot of stories about that in particular. The last one I heard about that, and again, I have to clarify, right? You hear stories on the internet, all the stories, right? I have no way to confirm any of it. I can say that I trust more of the channels I listen to. It's not like it was just directly from Reddit. It's like people directly talk to. But this one, I mean, it's kind of a mix because on one hand, the dogman was sicked on a pedophile who was connected and no one could deal with, like, he was connected enough in this small town that no one was going to take him down, but no one was going to do anything if a giant angry wolf thing broke into his house and ripped him to pieces. So, and supposedly a witch who was unhappy about one of the kids the pedophile went after sicked him on him. Fascinating. There's also a lot of... Oh, you know what? I am remiss. I don't even know if all of you guys know what I mean when I mean Dogman. Basically, next episode, we'll get into some of the stories and the lore about it, where it comes from, and blah, blah, blah. But Dogman is a werewolf-looking creature, cryptid, that doesn't turn into a human. It always looks like a werewolf, basically. If we get into the weeds, some have been said to look like foxes, like walking foxes, like a werewolf fox thing. Others have hyena heads.
Okay.
It gets pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Now, there's also plenty of speculation that a lot of these things are also government stuff.
They're called furries. Just kidding.
Yeah. Basically, government attack dogs kind of thing with handlers. There's a lot of rumors and conspiracies about that. Which, again, whole nother video. We're all over the place right now, baby. So, if you ask me, it's going to be impossible to know what happened because they purposely destroyed all the evidence. And that might mean that this was something more government related. We could say maybe one of their less than legal and less than moral experiments got loose and nabbed him. Maybe. We could say maybe a witch was sick of getting beat up by her dirtbag boyfriend and sicked a dogman on him. Or a demon or whatever. That's something else I forgot to mention. We shouldn't completely disregard spiritual entity, because when we talk about Bigfoot and Dogman and a lot of cryptids like it and other freaky things, there's usually a spiritual element that's often ignored by the physical people. So a lot of people start getting poltergeist activity, blah blah blah. They see the Bigfoot disappear or fly into a flying saucer and all this other crazy crap. Or even, I remember one story about a guy in a deer stand
Oh
who
boy. I hate
heard
that
this
stuff.
horrible sound, looks out and sees like a floating, flying wolf head
Oh
with
my
like
gosh.
a transparent torso of like a really masculine, hairy
Oh,
dog
boy.
man thing, just screaming for the woods.
Oh my gosh,
It's like no.
no.
Which, oddly enough, has connections to Japanese and Chinese folklore. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff about. That's gonna be really big on the recording.
Oh,
But a lot of floating, screaming heads. Ah, wow, that's fun. And of course, there's the headless horseman, right?
oh god, no.
Then we get into the doula hands, and all that business. Something about heads and ghosts. But wife's like, I was prepared for the dog man. You're not gonna get all dooley hanny on my ham right now. So
I never said I'm the generous one.
I know I'm
Look
being
at
way
you.
too generous right now. You guys greedy. Don't worry, we'll do stuff on all of these, and we'll give my wife time to recover from each
This
one.
is why we do it once a week.
Yes. Thought maybe we record more than once a week.
Shh, they don't need to know, right?
Well, they know now. But, right.
Can't tell them all our secrets.
So.
Hey, you just told them how much wine I drink.
Yep. Okay. Back to the point. Right. Because of this guy's more sinful past, too, I'm not going out on a limb when I say that he didn't have very much spiritual protection. Right? He's alone in these woods. Obviously, the girlfriend doesn't care enough to wonder what all those weird noises outside the house are about. And very importantly, no footprints were found around the body. Only his footprints were found. This is why we shouldn't discount the spiritual aspect. Because even a dog man should have left tracks. Even a Bigfoot or even whatever was there, it was like really sandy ground that would like around
Easily.
it should have showed up. Like his tracks were clear as day.
Oh boy.
But no tracks came from whatever killed him. Which again leans more towards the spiritual thing again. There's also the idea of hellhound.
Oh no. No.
But again, we have to wonder, why did he try to calm it down? But then we go, okay, maybe he thought it was a normal dog at first.
No, everybody's going. Mm-hmm.
You know, I almost lean more towards the hellhound in that sense. Because if you see a weird, freaky dog man, werewolf looking thing, you're not going to walk towards it. Right? But if you think you're being chased by a really freaky dog, you might try to calm it down. Especially when you think you're not going to escape.
Shit, got in a stupid car.
He didn't have... Oh, well, he was getting a car. He didn't have a license yet.
Who buys a car first and then get... Never mind.
Like I said, recovering dirtbag. You didn't know a lot of things. Now, what's interesting about the hellhound is you come back to witches and stuff as well. Those have been known to be guardians or things sicked on people. Just like the other stuff. Did I mention Crowley claimed to be to have a vampire sicked on him by other cultists?
I am not ready for that.
Not ready for vampires. Got it.
I don't think I ever will be.
But I will tell you, and I'll do more research again to get my thoughts together, because we'll explore other cases like this in future episodes. There was another one, I think, what state? I think it was West Virginia.
Let me get a map and mark states I do not want to go to. Oh wait, that's all 50.
It would probably be all of them in this case. They all have freaky stuff going down. This topic, get some help.
I'm trying. It's so much stereotype.
We forgot to time ourselves, so we knew how long we're
No,
going.
I saw the clock before it started.
Oh, where are we?
And close to an hour.
Excellent. But
Like,
I'll finish this thought. where there were multiple supposed dog attacks. But the funny thing about this one is we had another case of cover-up of the local coroner and the local sheriffs and whatnot, and it was clumsily done. In this case, they were at first trying to pin the murder on a local drifter. But he was exonerated, and I forget how, and they had to go back to dog attack, which was really awkward for them. Like, imagine the awkwardness. You're trying to pin a murder on a random black hobo dude, and then he's exonerated, and you have to go back to dog attack.
Nothing's more racist than that.
Hey, and you know how I feel about racists, gentlemen. The original racists were Indians, so...
See, Lippy.
Yeah, and so... that one cracks me up because it shows all the more how these local offices are basically just told to cover everything up and then thrown off the high horse immediately when something goes wrong. Plausible deniability, as they say. Wow.
I think that's a good end.
Yeah. It is a good end.
Because I want to be able to sleep tonight.
Okay, and you guys will get to hear an outro, because I'm going to record one probably tomorrow, and then we'll mess around with it. A good outro. Books. We have books. All these other things. It'll all be in the outro. Read the links below. Click on them. Have fun. Buy your kid a book. Make sure to pray and bring guns in the woods, baby. Because sometimes the spiritual gets physical, but don't think the physical is all where it's at. You might get a hovering hellhound that makes no tracks. Hey, the more hovering it is, the more Jesus slaps it around and says, "What are you hellhounding up, hellhound? I took the gates of hell. What do you think you're doing?"
Hounding them? Okay.
Now I have this image of Jesus with like the whip that he used to clear out the temple, just like,
but made out of silver.
Just like a chasing hell, like what you like an old lady with paper, like a newspaper attacking her dog. Get out of here, you stupid! He's probably laughing. If not, I'll ask forgiveness. So, it has been fun.
That cat's getting more sleep than I am.
Good. He slept all day. He's a lazy gato. Alright, I'll leave you with this. If you want to look for cases like this yourself, look for cases a lot of times dog attacks. Now, obviously, there are dog attacks, but you want to look for dog attacks that seem weird. So they'll do things like they'll have a video on the media thing, but it'll have nothing to do, like it'll show dogs or something, but it'll have nothing to do with the actual story. It'll try to get swallowed up really fast, and there'll be often conflicting reports within the sheriff's office. And I think my wife wants to go to bed. Everyone say good night, Mrs. Grizzly. She needed more wine this time. She's giving me the look. All right, you guys are awesome. Enjoy the outro.
This is the Grizzly Files. Bye-bye, everybody.
Penguin laugh. Thanks for watching another episode of the Grizzly Files. New episodes come up every Saturday at 5 p.m., so make sure to come back for that. We also have a Sunday school lessons for young men called The Warrior's Path. New lessons go up every single Sunday at 9:30 in the morning in written form, and then on arcaver.com, and then we'll do a live stream going over it the next day on every Monday at 10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. depending on when my kids go to bed. We also have another live stream on Fridays, which is our Grizzly gaming stream. It's a good time to hang out and talk games and all kinds of crazy crap. That one, again, will start at 10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. depending on when my kids go to bed. We also have a kids book that you guys should check out. It's called David and the Three Bears. It's up on Amazon. It's like if you made the story about King David as a kid when he's attacking bears and things into a fable. Yeah, that's all. Come back for more. We're going to be making more content as we go. So like, subscribe, share. Come back for it all. Can't wait to see you there.